Well, today I am going to talk to you about how to get focused digitally marketing your church because you want to grow your church and how do you use digital tools for that. So I'm going to start with this question. If I were to ask, what is your online strategy? Could you give me a thorough answer? Now, I'm not to say that, most churches will say that they have their services online. They show their weekend worship services, which is great. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the strategy behind that. How are you using digital to grow your church, both online and in person? And that's what we're going to discuss today. And I don't want to, tell you what to do. I want to give you something to think about. And this conversation is going to go in that direction. So if we think about that, if you have some ideas and you want to look at how these ideas can really help you grow, that's going to be what you're going to contemplate today. So there's three things I want to discuss with you today. Number one is creating online content. How do you create online content? What does that even look like? I get in lots of conversations with churches that say, Jason, we just don't have the time. You don't understand. We're so busy week in and week out. So we're going to address that. Number two, we're going to discuss the best tools you should use to actually reach more people. We're going to go into that. And third, once you've connected and engaged with people online, how do you turn that into new members at your church, both in person and online? Well, I want to study Home Depot for just a second. Everybody knows about Home Depot. In 2007, so we're going to go back about 15 or so years, Frank Blake was the CEO of Home Depot during this time. And he had his board in a meeting, and he said to his board, why don't people shop at Home Depot? And so that started an initiative because Home Depot in 2007, this is crazy, they were opening a new store every 2 days. Imagine that. Every 2 days. Thousands of jobs, millions and millions and millions of dollars, yet they weren't growing. They weren't growing the way they wanted to grow. Their stock was flat. And so Frank was concerned. He said, why don't people shop at Home Depot? So Home Depot did some research and they found out three important things. And I want to address these three things. Number one, most people don't identify as a DIYer, right? A do-it-yourselfer. They don't identify with that. Number two, most people find the store to be large and intimidating. You might be able to relate. Number three, most people did not know what the store had to offer outside of building materials and tools, which left people feeling really ill-equipped to actually know how to use those tools. So the team at Home Depot crafted a simple but powerful strategy. The more we can equip people to be better DIYers, the more tools and materials they will buy from Home Depot. It's simple, right? And so they came up with this concept. They wanted to create what the problem was, and then they created the solution. And so if you think about the in-store experience prior to Home Depot focusing on their problem, this is what it was kind of like, right? And you might be able to relate with this. I'm going to read this to you. It says this: I, the inadequate DIYer, need to change out a light fixture. It's my problem. So I decide that I need to go to Home Depot store. I am not a good DIYer, so I don't know how to change out a light fixture, but I also don't want to pay someone a bunch of money to do it. How hard can it really be? So I'm gonna go to the store. I will see a bunch of fixtures I know nothing about, which means I have to talk to somebody who works at the store who will likely make me feel even more inadequate, especially when I have to ask questions. He or she will tell me how to install the fixture, 90% of which I'll totally forget. What tools and materials do I need to install a light fixture? Wait a minute. How do I even find what I'm looking for in that huge store? Which fixtures do I choose? How do I know which fixture is going to be the best one? Forget it. I'm obviously not a DIYer, and therefore I don't belong at Home Depot, so I'm not going to go. This confirms I'm a terrible DIYer. That was their problem. So they rolled up their sleeves and got to work in 2007, and they created a digital experience. And it goes now something like this. This is the new reality for people shopping at Home Depot. Here it goes. I, the inadequate DIYer, need to change out a light fixture. I don't know how to change out a light fixture, so I go to the Home Depot website. On the website, there's a video to walk me through how to install a light fixture, which looks very simple now that I've seen somebody do it. Under the video, there's a list of the tools and materials I need to complete the job. The aisle number and bays where I can find them are included, so I don't get lost in that huge store. From there, I can look at all the different light fixtures Home Depot has to offer, all of which are in my local store. I don't know which ones is best, but that's okay because there's a community of other Home Depot shoppers, people like me, who have left their reviews and experiences about the product, along with pictures of those products installed. I am now equipped to be a DIYer. Man, I can't wait for this project and the next one. Turns out I do belong at Home Depot store, and I'm excited to go this afternoon. Hey, does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar? It should. Here's what the perspective of unchurched people could be about church. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to shift this to now the church because this is incredibly important to understand. Number one, church is for church people, right? I am not a church person. That's probably what they're experiencing. Number two, the building is large and intimidating, right? If you've never been in a church building, maybe except for like a funeral or a wedding, you may not even know what to expect. Number three, I don't know what the church has to offer outside of sermons, also known as rules, because God has a bunch of rules for us to follow, right? And so that's really, really important. So I want to talk about the in-person experience for a non-church person. It can go something like this. I'm not a church person, but I think I'm a pretty good person. The situation I have with my put in your felt need, marriage issue, alcohol issue, addictions, grief, relationships with my kids, etc. The situation I have with my felt need needs fixing, but I don't have the tools to change it, which leaves me feeling inadequate. Religion might help, so maybe I'll look up a church. After all, I've always secretly wanted a loving God to exist. I just don't know about those Christians. Going to church, however, seems kind of intimidating. The people there are probably the same people from my childhood who are going to make me feel even worse about the struggle I'm in. Talking to them will probably make me feel even more inadequate than I already do. I'd rather try before I buy. So I think I'll go to the website. Oh, they put their Sunday services online. But the sermon I watched online has nothing to do with my situation, and it's more like 30 minutes long. I don't have time for that. I'm not a huge fan of a talking head anyway. Do I even like this pastor? I'm not sure if they'll even have anything that can help me with the struggles I'm dealing with. I don't know if I belong with this church, so I'm just not going to go. I bet you can relate to that, right? We have people in our community who look at our website and go, I can relate with that. Now, what I'm going to recommend, though, is we do something about it. And I think what we should do is actually create a digital experience, kind of like the Home Depot experience. And if we create this kind of an experience, we might get this kind of a result. So here's what the digital experience for a non-believer could be. It goes something like this. I am not a church person, but I think I'm a good person. However, the situation I have with my felt need needs fixing, but I don't have the tools to change it, which leaves me feeling inadequate. Religion might help, so maybe I'll look up a church. My neighbor told me about her church, so I'll look it up online. The website has some really great resources about marriage and parenting and an entire section for people who have questions about faith. I can even watch a sermon if I want to. I like the resources, especially because they speak to the situation I'm in. There are books, a list of sermons, short videos, what's relevant to me, helpful content, even testimonies from other people. I didn't know that other people were dealing with my issue. I found a phone number for counseling centers and even an opportunity to connect with somebody at the church who seems really, really friendly and relatable on video. There's a download full of more resources if I share my name and email. Wait a minute, based on my zip code, I see there's a group of people from this church who are meeting in a house down the road from me, and I'm invited to attend. This means I can check it out without actually having to go to that huge building 30 minutes away on Sunday and kind of risk an uncomfortable experience. This is really, really helpful. And the people in the video, they seem really like they're nice people. I think I'll check it out next Thursday. See, here's the problem that we have with most churches is most church websites are good at inviting people to services online and in person, but really are a brochure about other ministries. There's almost no engagement except for maybe some events, and maybe there's some other nuances where you actually do engage people a little bit. But this really speaks to a church audience, does it not? Not outsiders. There is never enough information. We expect you to come see us. And I look at a lot of church websites. I never see any kind of like free download for your name and email, which people are willing to give you if it's something that's going to help their felt need. So let me ask you a question. This might sting a little bit, but I'm going to go there. I look at a lot of church websites, and you go take a look at your church website, and can you show me the page that actually explains how to follow Jesus, how to confess my sins, turn my life over to him, and build a relationship with Jesus? And then, if I say that prayer, celebrate with me. Let me tell you who I am and that I said yes to Jesus. Do you have a page on your website that actually addresses that? Something to think about. I also ask this question: do you have a laid out plan for your website? I want to make sure you understand you've got to think through your website. You can't just think about your ministries and things you have to offer people as they come to church, okay? Now, here's the reality. I get this question: Jason, where does this content come from? Where does this content come from? How are we to improve our website? And how can we gain new people to our church from it? Well, let me just walk into that. Because first of all, content is king. Content is king, and you are creating content. Now, Jesus is really the king. We understand that. But in a digital world, you need content. Content that captures attention, engages, educates, and then persuades people to take action. Did you catch that? I need content on your website that's actually going to capture my attention, engage with me, educate me, and then cause me to actually take action. Taking action means that they tell you who they are. They want to tell you who they are. So the first thing I always recommend is doing like a sermon to blog. Guess what? You have content, 52 weeks of it. I'm assuming that you were open on Sunday and you preached. Somebody did. There you go. Start right there. And I'm not going to click on this link, but this is you guys might know Ed Young from Fellowship Church. He actually had us take all of his sermons and create them from a 3,000 word sermon, right, to about a 1,000 word blog post. Amazing. And inside that blog post, right, you have all this content that's helping people with their marriage. You give them this free ebook, right? It's just the whole sermon series combined to one ebook. And that's a free giveaway if you give them a name and an email. It works really, really well. Content is king. So I would start there. I'd start with sermon to blog. The next thing I would do is actually add content to your website, right? Add landing pages. Now, we offer this at Missional Marketing. We have a ton of pages that we give away to churches. We literally give them to you and say, use them. But we really want to help you understand that when you have a website that has content that helps somebody, they're more willing to say, yeah, I want more. I want more information. And they'll give you their name, email, and cell phone. I know this because we do this for a lot of churches, and it works. Churches are generating 10 to 20 to 30 new leads from their website every single month. They're getting a name, an email, and a cell phone. Well, guess what you do after that? You follow up with them. That's ministry, right? It's a way to connect with people. And I absolutely love it. So, you got to persuade people to action. And then there's some other landing pages that we'll share with you that we call them real life, because people are struggling with their marriage, with parenting, with addictions, with grief. We're walking into the Christmas season. People are like, they are stressed out having to deal with the Christmas season because that's painful for them. They lost somebody. You can be there to support them and help them. But your website doesn't have a lot of information on there, except for come to, Grief Share. Wednesday nights at 7 p.m., you got to show up, right? Let's meet people where they are, a Home Depot model. That's really, really important. So what happened to Home Depot? I'm kind of curious about that. What happened to Home Depot? Okay, let's talk about that. In 2007, they recognized they had a problem. Over the next 6 years or so, this is just insane, their profit margin grew by 700%. Let that sink in. 6 years, Home Depot's profit margin skyrocketed. Now you might say, well, of course, Jason, they went online. Well, that wasn't the case. Their online sales only accounted for 5% of that. What happened? They broke down the barriers. Home Depot's an intimidating store to walk into. But if you can go online and have a really good experience and you get fed and now you feel like Home Depot's on your side, you feel a whole lot more confident walking in that store. And their foot traffic went through the roof. Can we take a page from their playbook and apply that to the church? I think we can. I think we can. Okay, now you might be thinking, great, we have a lot of content. How do we get people to these landing pages? Let's discuss marketing. Real quick, I want to just go into marketing because marketing gets a bad word, kind of a bad rap in the church world, right? Sometimes it can. Now, I'll just say this, that we have a GOAT who is the greatest of all time marketer in the history of the world. We know who he is. It was Jesus. Jesus was a marketer. You may say, no, he wasn't. Yeah, he was. He was easily the greatest of all time. He told stories. He had parables. He performed miracles, all with the goal of capturing attention, educating, and getting people to take action. Capturing attention, educating, getting people to take action. That's marketing. So there's this little thing that is something for you to recognize that when you think about and you watch TV commercials, and this is how I watch them all the time. You either have a fear of a loss or desire of a gain. That's great marketing. Fear of loss or desire of gain. Fear of loss. American Express. Don't leave home without it. Right? That's a fear of loss. Or Allstate. Mayhem, right? Don't get in that accident and not have Allstate. Or desire of gain. Red Bull gives you wings. You've probably seen that commercial. And then, of course, every iPhone ever created, like their ad they always have the latest iPhone. You got to have that. That's going to help your life get better and better and better. That's great marketing. But the best advertisement ever, hands down, this verse, right? John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Second one's just as good. Whoever believes in the Son has eternal life, but whoever rejects the Son will not see life, for God's wrath remains on him. This is both a fear of loss and a desire of gain. Brilliant. Brilliant. So I love that. Now let's just kind of recap something. I really want you to understand this quote right here that John said. He said, church marketing is the action of spreading or promoting the gospel of Jesus Christ through the use of various types of communications, right? Media or strategies, again, to capture attention, engage people, educate them, and persuade them to take action. If you can accomplish that on your website, and I know you can, you're going to be really way far ahead of the game. You're going to attract people who are going to give you their name, email, cell phone number, and then you can call them, and you can minister to them, and you can pray with them, and you can invite them to church. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen. It'll happen for your church if you take this directive. Okay. What are the digital tools you own? I'm just going to briefly go into here. Okay. So do you use or do you feel like you own Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Google? Here's the reality. You don't own these. You rent them. You rent them. What is the product you own? Your website. I might even say your email list a little bit, but that's becoming harder and harder to deliver. More regulations and rules. So you own your website. You always want to be driving people to your website. Okay? Favorite platforms that I love to use, though, to advertise would be Facebook and Instagram ads, easily, right? I mean, that skews a little bit more female, which is okay, a little bit older female, so we'll tend to click on those ads. Google Display Network. Jason, what's a Google Display Network? It's a network of websites, games, apps, lots of them, that will display an ad from Google on there. So when you have thousands and thousands of geo-targeted ads in the display network, you're hitting people that you want to hit, right? And those clicks usually come from younger people. Google search ads. I don't have time to get into this a lot, but you can have paid or the Google Ad Grant. If you don't know about the Google Ad Grant, you need to learn about it. Google will offer your 501c3 $10,000 a month in paid advertising in Google search. You want to investigate that. And of course, YouTube ads and TikTok ads are great. What do I do with these leads? when someone shares with you their details and they've opted in, they said, yes, here's my name and my email, my cell phone, and I want more information. You start doing ministry. I'll ask churches, hey, during the pandemic, how often were you calling your people? And we would call them. Yeah, we called everybody because we really wanted engagements. Okay, great. When did you stop? Well, we stopped kind of after the pandemic was sort of over. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you not call on your people all the time to see how they're doing, checking in with them, right? Same thing with these leads come in. You want to call them. You want to make sure you're on top of that. So here's some next steps. I would love to talk with you, okay, about how to help you create this strategy. We can investigate your website, look at your sermon content, give you some strategies and some direction on what you should do. And I'll do that complimentary. I want to help you get better and reach more people. And when you do that, it's going to help you grow your church, okay? So we'll talk about that content when we have a call if you'd like to reach out. And so you can get a hold of me. I'm with missionalmarketing.com, and my email address is jhamrock@missionalmarketing.com. I would love to talk with you about how you can use these strategies to grow your church. I care desperately that people who do not know Jesus, that they meet and know him at your church. You're the hope of the world. I'm excited for you. Let's talk. Take care.